protective styles are the real reason that Black women cannot retain length and wide.
Watch me do my client hair in this beautiful braid style. For all of y'all who be confused as to what I be doing, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit more in this video right here. So tune in.
Don't take it personal. That's just CYNPLE's way. She speak with love, but don't sugarcoat what she say. She might be
Now, one of the things that confuses people the most is protective styles. As a Black woman, you think that if you put braids in your hair, that you're automatically protecting your hair. And that is simply not true. The term protective styling was kind of made up as a marketing ploy, supply and demand. But let's break it down. Protective. What is the actual definition? Protective is designed to keep something.
Braids are not protective. It's an installation style. So you're installing braids in your hair, and it's a high tension installation style. It's not a protective style. So what is a protective style? A protective style would be if you took your hair and you twisted it or you braided it. That would be a protective style because it's your hair is tucked away. You're not putting the weight of additional hair. I was just telling a lady at Essence Fest, she had the braids in, and I was like, putting those braids in, they were long, like, to her waist. It's like weights on your follicle. Just think of putting little half a pound weights on those follicles. Would you want that on your follicle? Even if you had to hold a 5-pound weight for a month in your hand, wouldn't your arm feel tired? Wouldn't you be like, I gotta get rid of this weight? That's what your follicles are telling you. Like, that weight needs to be taken off.
What is the definition? Protective. Anything that is protective is designed to keep someone or something safe from harm, damage, or risk. So a protective action, right? These are steps taken to prevent injury, loss, or danger. Or protective objects are items made to shield or guard gear, coats, barriers, or protective behavior, right? Is going to be showing care by defending and supporting or watching over something. So the bottom line is protective means guarding, shielding, and preventing harm. So when we're talking about protective treatments, right? When we're talking about protective styling, there is a lot of confusion. Now, on the video that you just watched, I agree with the first half where she was talking about tension and how braids and things of that nature, what we view as protective styles, are actually something that causes a lot of tension. And it's actually really crazy because after she said that, there was a really, really interesting comment that someone left. And I'm going to put it here on the screen, but basically in so many words, girl, boy, whoever's listening to this, after she said what she said about muscles, some braider commented and said, when we lift weights, our muscles get stronger, right? She says, when we lift weights, our muscles get stronger, right? Does these styles not strengthen our hair if installed properly? And somebody said, no, adding tension to your hair doesn't strengthen it. It just creates thinning and bald spots. Hair needs breathing room and a little tension as possible. And the braider said back, which is you guys' favorite response, I've grown so many people's hair, including my own, with protective styling. Is really all about the install. And this is the reason why there is no community and no know-how in the Black community, because you'll have Black cosmetologists that focus on the science of hair say one thing, and then you'll have a braider whose only license and is through really sanitation, right? Depending on what state that they're, and then you have these two groups of people going up against each other with you in the middle, confused about who to listen to. Well,
I've taken it upon myself to be an advocate for people who are yet starting their natural hair journey, and for those who don't even know the mistakes that can cause them their edges. Let's talk about mini braids versus medium braids, because I want to save you from alopecia and bad spots. Mini braids are not ideal for long-term protective hairstyle. Yes, they are cute, but when worn for too long, they can pull on your hair and lead to tension and traction alopecia. I'm speaking from experience. I left my mini braids in for 3 months, and one braid literally split into two and pulled off from the root. Mini braids are also very difficult to take down, which can cause excessive breakage and shedding. They can mat up easily at the roots when worn long term, making maintenance harder and increasing the risk of damage. Medium braids, on the other hand, are better options for long term protection. They place less tension on the scalp and edges. If your goal is healthy natural hair, medium braids will protect you better in the long run.
As a research scientist, I can tell you that even though I spent the first decade and some change of my life as a licensed cosmetologist, as a research scientist, I stand in the middle, biased, looking at nothing but data. So when we look at the data and we really sit down and address it, there is a huge difference between weight and tension, and understanding the difference between weight and tension will be the determining factor on if whether or not a style is protective for you, or if whether or not these styles induce a whole lot of tension. Now, there is a lot of confusion because she also mentioned something about what is actually protective is you putting your hair in braids, your actual hair in braids or twists. But if we look at Webster's dictionary.
So I know that you're wondering, how did we get here? Let's just take a moment and rewind so I can walk y'all through it. So this is a new client and she has beautiful hair. Her issue is that she also has fine hair, and she did receive a set of braids where an entire braid came out and took her hair right along with it. Now, on top of that, she does wear low ponytails, so that was not making the situation much better. As you can see, she had a really, really big hole in the middle of her head, and it went all the way up. The nape area where the braid took out her hair was absolutely the worst part of it. But as you can see, even halfway up the back of her head, that hole is still pretty big. And again, because she wears low ponytails, it is starting to travel. So we already knew going into this that we would have to do a pretty big cut. But even when I went around to the front, we started to see more and more of that damage. Now, she absolutely could have opted for a nasty asymmetrical bob, but she said that she wanted her hair blunt so it can all grow out the same length, and she did not want any layers. So we decided on a neck length short bob. As always, I did consult with her about what her options were and how she wanted it styled. If you guys want to see the consultation portion of her service, please let me know. I will gladly share with you guys. But yeah, as you can see, she's pointing to her neck to let me know what she's aiming to get. My clients are usually individuals who prefer health over length, so cutting the hair ain't no thing. So good on you. So cute. It is so pretty. It looks really, really good on you. Girl, look at it move. It looks so good.
They gonna say keep still. It's not. I'm not moving. It's just my hair.
That's just what it does. Like.
It is absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
As hairstylists, there's a certain level of empathy that we have to maintain with our clients because around black hair care comes a lot of black hair trauma. Growing up, we're told to prioritize length over the health of our hair, so some of us hold on even when our hair is long, damaged, and fragile. We'll hold on at the expense of the integrity of our follicles, our scalp, and overall just looking good with healthy hair because we don't want to cut our hair off. It makes me feel good when my clients come in knowing that they have to get rid of their damaged hair, and they don't put up a fight with me and make it harder for me as a stylist because we have to have a 10-minute conversation on why they need to cut their hair. If your hair is straightened and you can still see splits going up your shaft, it needs to be cut off. And a lot of the times it's a journey. Most damaged hair is not going to be fixed with one appointment. It requires you to go home and still keep up with the maintenance that we talk about in the salon, and then also come in to see me at least once every 3 months so that we can keep up with your trims. I'll take some new appointments in Philly. I have a few more spots left on my book until I go back to Atlanta.
This is a thicker area where you can kind of see, you see how that it's kind of thick and then there's some gaps right up in there?
Right.
And you can kind of even see how it falls. It just kind of flaps over. Another way to see that is just kind of seeing, are you able to see that?
Yep.
The hair throughout.
Right.
I like to bend it over so that you can see the hair that's broken in between, because sometimes holding it like this, you really can't see it.
Right.
But when you flip the hair over, you're able to really see that there's some breakage present.
Right. A whole lot of it.
So we're also working with some different lengths. So we got a little shortness in the middle. Was this where your bangs were, or was this breakage?
Bangs. Well, no, it's breakage. My bangs grew out so fast.
Okay. So I can cut over it.
Okay.
Where it's not as noticeable, or I can clean up the bang. So where you kind of have a little bit more bang. I feel like that may be better. So that you can address, because you have a lot of splitting there.
Yeah, that's from the...
But I want to make sure that that's comfortable with you. I don't want to go in if you're not comfortable. And when I say bang, I'm not talking about straight across.
Got you. Okay.
Just talking about more of a
frame.
Some little layers, swoopy.
Okay. I don't know if I'm ready for the front to be...
Can you see that? Those thin pieces? It's kind of going to be needed. Because otherwise... It's gonna be thin.
I know. Okay, let's just,
Sure. Can you see that though?
You know, I definitely
see it. Because I can't camouflage that.
I know. Right. It's only so much.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. It won't be as what you thinking.
Right. No, listen. I know that the ends are horrible. They need to go. I'm excited. It's okay. Bye. See you again soon.
And what I'm doing is I am pulling all of your hair over.
Yes.
To give you maximum length on these sides.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because that bang is so short.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm cutting it even, but in a way, it's not.
No.
It's going to go from short to drastically long.
Gotcha.
To keep your length as long as we can.
Okay. I trust
I don't know if you can tell how now it's getting longer as I'm cutting.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cute! Are you just telling me that? Or are you do you like this? Okay.
I love healthy ends.
Okay.
Like, oh my gosh.
Cute.
Yes.
Dictionary's definition of the word protective, you twisting or braiding your hair is not protective, regardless of how many of your emotions are attached to the hairstyle. And we're going to talk about scientifically what is going to protect your hair the best. You braiding your own hair puts no shield or no barrier of protection around your hair to protect it from outside sources, your hands, anything. You braiding your own hair and putting your own hair in a twist is not a protective style. But let's break down the difference between weight and tension. So when we're talking about weight, you want to think about gravity acting as something pulling the hair downward, right? So the force that is exerted by gravity, it is pulling an object downward, right? So acts of downward motions to the earth center is what we're looking at as gravity, right? So when we are talking about distribution, direct, ununiformed, external mass pulling down of the hair shaft, this is something that is going to really be the thing that confuses you, because you automatically think that tension and weight are the same thing. Well, tension is different, because when we're talking about tension, this is going to be a pulling force, right? When we're talking about weight, we are thinking of something going downward towards the earth. When we're talking about tension, we're talking about a force along, something like a pulling of a force along a rope or something like that. It is force transmitted by a wire or through a motion of pulling, right? So pulling or stretching a rope or something being pulled tightly, right? This is the act of upward, downward, or any direction really of a response to weight being pulled down. So tension is an actual response. And when we are talking about distribution, when you transmit certain force inside of an object, this is the thing that goes along the length of something that you're pulling and tugging on, and this is where you see tension. But tension and weight are very different, right? Because the mechanical effects are even different. When we're talking about weight, single force pulls down, and then the stress is distributed at the root. So when we're thinking about braids, when you put braids in, you're putting individual braids in itty bitty pieces of hair, and almost every time the amount of hair that you're putting on that individual braid is more hair than is actually present within the braiding hair itself. So there's way more braiding hair than the hair that you're actually attaching the hair to. So the hair that you're putting on weighs more than your natural hair. You're not protecting anything. You're adding weights on, the same way that she said. And when we're talking about tension acts along stretched objects, right? So this is transmitting force through a stretch or flexible object, but this is something that is self-inflicted. This is why if you are a good cosmetologist, you don't just hop in somebody's hair and start doing a sew-in. Absolutely not. If you're a good cosmetologist, when you're doing a sew-in, you go learn the proper braiding pattern. Any and every braiding pattern cannot be in anyone's head. Why? Each braiding pattern was different for all of my clients. My clients with really, really thin hair didn't get the same type of braiding pattern as my clients with really, really thick hair, because I'm setting the braids around the curvature of her hair, and I'm not exuding tension at an extent that is going to be damaging or that is going to be pulling or tough on the cuticle. This is why technique is important. When I did weaves and I stood behind the chair, my clients used to always tell me, saying, I love sitting in your chair because I have no tension. I feel no pulling, no tugging, none of those things, because tension is not something that is mandatory. It is something that can be controlled dependent on the service provider. If the person who's doing your hair doesn't know what they're doing, absolutely you will have a lot of tension. This is when you see women who get weaves all the time and they have balding edges and all of the things. Well, this is because they've been going to people who don't understand tension and the way that it's supposed to be distributed around the hair. But I love you guys. Even though we love braids and all of the things, there's nothing about braiding your own hair or twisting your own hair that is protective. Again, the definition of protective is something that is designed to keep someone or something safe from harm, damage, or risk. Protective means guarding, shielding, and preventing harm. And at this point, you've seen the girl that gave the example of her mini twist and why she's no longer doing her mini twist, because of the matting and the tangling and all of the length retention that she is not gaining. There's also a YouTuber that I really like. I'll leave her videos in the group, so join the group. I'll leave one of her videos in the group so you can see her lock journey. She started her lock journey with 2-strand twists, and she's had them in for months, and the frizz that is on her hair is developing. She's letting it develop because that frizz will then lock up and that will turn into locks. So every time she goes to her loctician to get a retwist, she controls. All locks is controlled matting. And the fastest way to get controlled matting is to put your hair in 2-strand twists or mini braids. And this is why Braiding your real hair is not a protective style. Twisting your real hair is not a protective style. Is it a way to get your hair out of the way so you don't have to do it for a couple of days? Yes. But by definition, there is nothing protective about braiding your own hair. And if you add artificial braiding hair, right, and you go to a braider who understands how to distribute the weight, then you will not have breakage, because there are people who go to braiders that don't get any balding. There are people who go to braiders that don't get any breakage, that don't get thinning. You know why? They're going to braiders that know how to evenly distribute the weight. That is why, yes, we have ancestors, and yes, there are Indian women, for example, that use oil in their hair, but guess what? They shampoo it out the same day. So it's not that oil itself is so horrific. It is the patterns and the routines and the processes in which you use those oils. So if you're just using it as a treatment, targeting a very specific infection, right? Because oils are carriers. So if it's not carrying medicine, the only thing you're feeding is the yeast and bacteria that lives there. But that's a story for a whole nother day. Today, we're talking about protective styles. But I need you guys to understand that there is a very big difference. So when we get down to the question that the woman asks, which is why strengthening hair through tension is a myth. First of all, I've actually never heard anybody say this ever in life. It's actually crazy, but let's break down the difference because people are really confused. So, muscles versus hair follicles. These are completely different tissues. So, this is the first tissue that your muscles are made of. And this tissue is designed to respond to load, to adapt to stress through certain types of recovery systems built into the body. And these muscles have direct blood flow plus repair signaling when stressed. Stress is expected and adaptive with your muscles, but your hair follicles, which are nowhere near your muscles, are very different. Okay? This is not a muscle. Okay? The hair follicle does not contract. It does not strengthen from an overload of weight. Hair fibers, their self, are dead keratin as it pertains to the nerves once it leaves the scalp. So it's not constantly recovering or repairing itself. It doesn't work like that. Follicles are anchored in soft tissue, not designed for a pulling force. So it's completely different. There is no correlation between your muscles and your hair follicles. Stress is damaging to the hair follicle, not adaptive. This is why it's really important for you to understand that there is a difference between your braider and your cosmetologist. Because your cosmetologist, unless she is special, she will not say that your muscle and your follicle are alike. There is nothing, no similarities whatsoever. The woman who used the muscle, I think she was speaking in a metaphor. You know, like as it pertains to holding up, your muscles holding up. She shouldn't have said the word muscle. She could have just said the word arm. Think of it as your arm getting tired from holding up hair. But girl, number 2, tension strengthens hair. This is a false analogy because in the gym, it's a little different, right? And the gym things are a little different because muscles equal active tissue that adapts. But when it comes to hair follicles, it equals a passive structure that degrades under stress. So when we're talking about muscles, your muscles are going to get bigger and stronger the more damage you put on them. But when we're talking about the hair follicles, they're going to get smaller and smaller and begin to shrink under stress. Hair follicles cannot train like muscles can. they function normally. They become inflamed. They miniaturize. They miniaturize. They miniaturize, or they become damaged traction alopecia, for an example. There are no biological mechanisms. There are no biological mechanisms where tension makes follicle stronger. It is not a thing. So under sustained tension, blood flow to the follicle is reduced. Follicular inflammation increases. The follicle begins to miniaturize. Why can't I get it out? The follicle begins to miniaturize. I cannot get it out today. And this is staying in here because I'm human. And yes, I know what it means. I have a whole video on it, but I cannot get this word out. Hair becomes thinner over time. Eventually, it turns into permanent hair loss. This is well documented in dermatology and trichology. So the bottom line is clear and undeniable. Comparing hair follicles to muscles is biologically incorrect. Muscles are built to respond to stress. Hair follicles are built to be protected from stress. That is why the hair follicle has immune privilege. The hair follicle has immune privilege, which means that your body makes your hair follicle invisible to the immune system. Why? Because the body is not a muscle. The hair follicle is not a muscle that can take stress. When it is stressed, when it is beat up, the hair stops growing. And this is why most people cannot figure out why out of all of these groups of women on earth, why Black women are the only women that struggle with hair growth and length retention, and why Black women struggle to have longer hair. Well, it is because the real generational curse on Black women is their inability to let go of the things that no longer serve them. Braids are beautiful, yes. But braids and protective styles, what you guys are calling protective styles, protect nothing. And braids are meant for healthy hair. But we use braids to camouflage balding and things of that nature. And we shame wigs. Well, the truth of the matter is, all of us need to have our hair free and clear if we have different balding things that we're going on. If the scalp needs to recover from anything, we need to keep it clean and clear and free of any oils, butters, greases, anything. But we can't let go because you have to smooth your hair down. You have to mold it. It has to be perfect. You have to put all of these braids in your hair. But the truth of the matter is, the number one enemy to a Black woman's hair shaft, the number one enemy to a Black woman's scalp is the Black woman and her patterns and routines. And the number two enemy is the braider or the cosmetologist that refuses to humble themselves and learn the science of the human body, because they only taught us what we needed to know to pass state board in cosmetology school. And when we were in cosmetology school, we were never encouraged to be people who make oils and butters and greases to grow people's hair. No, those are things that you need to go back to school to learn. So I challenge you to go online and look up some different trichology courses, or go look into some different courses that you can take from people who really understand the science of hair. Because if all you did was go to cosmetology school, you do not have the proper education to be able to teach your clients how to repair their scalps for the long term. My love, if you're a braider, you're amazing, and the things that you do are beautiful. But facts and feelings don't mix. And I'm not concerned about your feelings right now. What I'm concerned about are little girls with alopecia because their mothers won't stop putting braids in their hair. That is my concern and nothing else. So I really hope that this conversation wasn't too spicy spicy for you. And I hope it didn't make you upset. But the truth of the matter is, until we get over these things and have these conversations and really have these conversations, then we'll get nowhere. In our next video, we're going to dive even deeper into this conversation about oils. I know you're tired of hearing me talk about oils, but I can promise you we're just getting started. So I really hope that you like this video, and talk to me in the comments. What do you think about protective styles? Because the truth of the matter is, the whole protective styling thing was a scam. It was a lie from the very beginning. And anybody who tells you 2-strand twists, what they call them things, your little mini braids, all of that, it was another market employee, because the old things that you guys have been doing are no longer getting views. So they started telling you guys to put mini braids in, but those aren't protective styles either. So let's see.
I was moving like a
stay isolated. Only the real, stay isolated. Only the real, harder this cause I'm ISO deal. Shine on these ice gold grills. Been in that house, yeah, I might go chill. Rather stay in cause I hate them fell. Link with the bros, yeah, I might call Lil. Yo, what's next? Only time gon' tell. Last few years, yeah, been unreal. Whoa. Staying to ourselves, cause it's better. What you mean? Yeah. We was quarantined way before quarantine. Trapped inside the basement till the sky started to gleam. Yeah, I'm stepping with the Gazas, it's gon' boost your self-esteem. Staying to ourselves, cause it's better. What you mean? We was quarantined way before quarantine. Yeah. Trapped inside the basement till the sky started to gleam. And I'm stepping with the Gazas, it's gon' boost your self-esteem. Hey, I be isolated. Only real ones with me. That's just how I did. Ay, no, you cannot get in. It's a reservation. I set it for the team. RSVP. Ay, I be isolated. We done elevated. Where we supposed to be. Ay, our current situation ain't my final destination. That's just how I see it. Only the real stay isolated. 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 Yeah, only the real forget how they feel. It's me and Dill. So, ayy, we in the stool, we working on hits, we staying until. Yeah, look with the bros, it been a little while since last time we chilled. Ayy, send us a beat, you know we on go, we know we gon' kill. Yeah, we in the back, season the chicken to throw on the grill. Yeah, hit up Germ, hit up Jules when we in the Ville. Yeah, staying to myself, man, if I ain't with the team. We been grinding all these, yeah, they see us on them screens. Now, people do me dirty, but I keep my hands clean. Now we seeing mills, cause we running up these streams. jeans. Don't let these artists fool you, they ain't really what it seems. They know we bring the vibe when we pop out to the scene, yeah. Hey, I be isolated. Only real ones with me. That's just how I did. Ay, no, you cannot get in. It's a reservation. I set it for the team. RSVP. Ay. I be isolated. We done elevated. Where we supposed to be. Ay. My current situation ain't my final destination. That's just how I see it.
Way she speak with love, but don't sugarcoat what she say. She might be blunt, but it come from the heart. Real ones feel her, been solid from the start. Take it personal, that's just Linda's way. She speak with love, but don't sugarcoat what she say. She might be blunt, but it come from the heart. Real ones feel her, been solid from the start. Way she speak with love, but don't sugarcoat what she say. She might be blunt, but it come from the heart. Real ones feel her, been solid from the start. Don't take it personal, that's just Cinder's way. She speak with love, but don't sugarcoat what she say. She might be blunt, but it come from the heart. Real ones feel her, been solid from the start. Personal, that's just Cinder's way. She speak with love, but don't sugarcoat